Hi artists! Today I'm going to show you how to make a Collagraphy print. So today the materials that you are going to need are some glue. I'm using tacky glue, but you can use any type of glue you'd like. Some washable markers, a pair of scissors, a sponge. This sponge isn't going to be getting yucky, it's just going to use water, so don't worry about messing up a sponge. An old cardboard box. I'm using an old cracker box, but any old cardboard box will work. Preferably the thin type of cardboard, not the serrated type. A bowl with some water for your sponge. Some paper. And some tin foil. So once you have gotten all of your materials together, what you're going to do is first, you're going to cut your box so that you have a flat surface. This is going to be your printmaking board. Once you have your printmaking board, or in this case it's kind of like your piece of paper, then the rest of this cardboard is what you're going to use to make the designs for your print. So what I like to do to make it easier is to make myself another big chunk so that it's easier for me to cut my shapes out. So now that I have another piece of cardboard that's nice and flat, I can start to cut out my designs that are going to lay on top of this printmaking piece. So I want to make a flower. So my first piece is going to be a circle. Remember, you can decide to make anything you want. I just decided that I'm going to make a flower. So there is the center, and then now I need to make some petals. So now I'm going to arrange them. This one has a little bump, so I'm just going to cut that little bump off. I'm going to arrange them. It's okay if they are sticking off a little bit. This one has a little bump, so I'm going to cut it. Awesome. So once you have your first layer, you can either leave it this way with one layer, or you can cut out some more details to layer on top again. Once you have your pattern on top of your printing sheet and you are happy with it, then you can begin to glue. Now you need to wait for this to dry, so give it a few minutes so that your cardboard pieces can stick. Okay, so once your print plate has been drying for a while and your pieces are secure, your next step is to take a sheet of tin foil and you're going to really carefully lay the tin foil on top and massage the tin foil over your cardboard pieces. Something that will make this easier is if you really gently wrap the tin foil around the edges, make sure it stays flat, so that it's nice and flat. So I'm carefully massaging the tin foil, and then I'm going around and folding under so everything stays in place. So now that I have folded this, I can really massage. Just be careful that you use the sides of your fingers, because if you use your nails, you could accidentally slice or cut through the foil. You don't want to have any cuts in your foil. So you can see that my flower is starting to show through the foil. You can see my different layers of petals. Really press down on each edge that you've made and try to keep the tin foil as little bit wrinkled as you can. I got some wrinkles on the side, but on my flower, I did a pretty good job keeping it flat. Okay, so now I can see my flower really clearly. So now, using my washable markers, I'm going to begin coloring on top of my tin foil. It's really, really, really important that you use washable markers because these markers need to be water soluble. That means that when water touches this ink, it'll turn back into liquid form. If you use a Sharpie or something permanent, the printing process will not work. You can definitely draw on top of here with Sharpie when you're done, but until you're completely finished pulling prints, leave the drawing to only water-based markers. If it dries a little bit, that's okay. As soon as it hits the water, it will reactivate. Once you have your plate completely colored in, your last step is to get your piece of paper and your wet sponge. So you don't want it to be sopping wet, you just want it to be damp. So I'm going to squeeze out all of my water so my sponge is wet, but it's not like dripping water. Then I'm going to wipe my paper down so that my paper is damp. So I don't want to soak it, but I want my paper to be damp, because the water is what makes my print show up. So I'm carefully massaging the water into my paper. All right, so now my last thing to do, to take the wet side of my paper, flip, and massage, massage, massage. And there you have your beautiful Collagraphy print. And this is nice and clean so that you can use it all over again.